Someone who commands that sort of income has some special qualities. And one of the things I love about David Colister, he's come all the way from USA, folks, to be here tonight, is that he's a man of vision. Why is that? Well, I've noticed in the short time that I've gotten to know David as a dear friend, that he's got 30 years experience in our industry. He's seen all sorts of things happen in our industry. He's helped 3 companies in particular earn over $1 billion each in our industry. In fact, the total of sales amongst those 3 companies, he's been the marketing strategist behind those companies, is now over $5 billion. $5 billion producer in our industry, fast growth strategist. I regard him as our industry's Socrates. He's a philosopher. He's a master storyteller. And he's here to share his vision of his collective experience of why Lifeforce International is the next biggest thing in our industry right now. Welcome up, David Colister.
One of these days, I'm going to meet that person that they're talking about. How's the light good? Am it back, in?
Yeah, that middle one.
Really? Okay. I put that mark there and I missed by about, I don't know how far that is in Australian measurements, but in my world it'd be about 2 feet. I'm a mess. How's that? You know, this guy that they were talking about, you know, isn't it funny? You know, my kids keep me really humble. I have 4 children, and they just, Dad, you're a dork. That's how they introduce me. Here's my dad. He's a dork. You know, when I hear these kinds of things, and I know that it's true, and I accept that it's true. But the fact of the matter is it's this industry that helps people like me make it. I've had some incredible mentors in this business. What I love about this business is you've got people like Michael Jude that, you know, has tens of thousands of people in his business all over the world, and he's here working as hard as anybody, right? Has he missed a meeting? Those of you that have been here the last few days, have you seen him miss a meeting? Is he taking off, just going out and playing golf or something? He's right here, right in the trenches, working with everybody. And I love that about Lifeforce. And those are the kinds of leaders that I have, because when I started, I was one of those kids that had ADD, attention deficit disorder, but we didn't know about those in the 60s and the 70s. And I was a mess then. I had a hard time getting through school. It's not that I lacked intelligence, I just couldn't get things done. I couldn't get my life organized. My parents, it was so hard for them to handle that, and my teachers. And you know, here I was an art student, a worship leader in a church, you know, songwriter, singer, and I was pushing a broom at a hospital trying to get myself through school. And you know, one of the physician's assistants there, a very respected man in the hospital that everybody knew and everybody respected, you know, I would go into his office every day and I would, you know, sweep up and I would dump the trash, and I always walked around with a big old smile and was singing and would entertain the nurses down in my cleaning room and come down for concerts, you know, 3 or 4 times a week. And you know, and I had all these young doctors who would look at me like, you know, why are you such a loser, man? Why are you pushing a broom? You know, and I never was embarrassed to push a broom, right? I mean, my parents were factory workers and they're hardworking people, and you know, I came from the best family of people of integrity. I've never heard my parents lie to me. I've never heard them lie to anybody else. Never heard my grandparents lie to anybody. I'm not saying they never did. I just never saw it, and I was pretty good at it myself. I don't have the testimony. I was the kid that most parents pray their kids never met. Right? I was trouble, man, and good-natured trouble, but I was trouble. At 11 years old, I started my first network marketing enterprise, where I would buy some herbal stuff from somebody else, and I'd repackage it and sell it to other people. You know, it's a little. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And I used to do it. 11 years old, man. I found a business that, you know, I was delivering papers. I said, forget newspapers, man. I got something I can put in paper. And, you know, so here I was, 11 years old, you know, network marketing stuff that I shouldn't have been doing. And now it's my kids do something like that, then they know they're going to have trouble. But that's the kind of kid I was, and I just couldn't keep focused, and I couldn't. Everybody was telling me how stupid I was. The grades were telling me that I didn't fit in, right? And I would sit there and draw all day and want to paint and sculpt and sing and all this other stuff, and they're telling me, you got to do this. We have a way of getting through school, right? And getting through life, and if you don't conform, you don't fit in, and you're stupid. 70% of the people in prisons today are guys just like me that didn't fit in, and the world kept telling them you're a loser by giving them C's and D's and E's in their grades and stuff like that. And so, I just happen to have incredible parents. I'm so grateful for my parents and the integrity that they had. And they never made me feel stupid, right? They always said, David, you can be anything you want in life. You just keep dreaming. And they used to get a kick out of me. When I was 4 years old, they would say, they'd tell their adult friends, go ask Davey. They called me Davey. They said, go ask Davey what he wants to be when he grows up. And I would say, 4 years old, I'd say, I want to be a retired millionaire. I didn't know what retired meant, and I didn't know what a millionaire was. But I remember my grandfather, who was one of my heroes. He passed about 20 years ago. But I remember, I was the first son, the first grandson, the first great-grandson, and the first great-great-grandson. So there are 5 generations of grandfathers and grandmothers, and what that meant was I was spoiled, right? And but I remember my grandfather, who every time I had dinner at his place out in the country, out in the farm area, we would sit down. He would open dinner with a prayer, and I wasn't much of a praying kid ever in my life until I got a little bit older. But he would open it with a prayer and thank God for food, and then he would say, whatever it was, 15 years, 6 months, 8 days, and 10 hours until I retire. And he was counting them every single day. He retired much sooner than that. But I didn't know what that meant, but I thought, man, if this hero of mine wants to be retired, that's what I want to be. And then when I got a little bit older, I figured out what retirement was, and it meant not having to work. I said, now that's for me, right? I'm basically lazy. I like to be lazy, and lazy to me means doing what I want to do and not what somebody else says I have to do, right? And so, here I was pushing the broom, not making any money as an artist, trying to figure out a way to get my life together. And the factories, the automotive factories were there in Lansing, Michigan, where I grew up, and they rarely had openings for jobs. It was a big deal in our city when the factory said, we've got jobs, and literally thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people would line up and sleep out all night to get their place in line to get a job. And I remember taking my brother and my brother-in-law when I was at this time in my life, and we drove to the place where they were taking the applications, and we were all ready to camp out all night. And I got there, and I said, okay, you guys, here it is. I'm going to just drop you off. And they looked at me and said, what do you mean, David? Drop us off? Aren't you staying? I said, man, I can't do that. I got something inside of me that says I'm supposed to be more than a factory worker. God bless the factory workers. Come from a long line of factory workers and farmers. But I felt like I had to do something different in my life, and I had no clue what it was. I didn't know what it was, and they looked at me like, you're an idiot, man. You know how much this pays? And it was at a time when people weren't making a lot of money, and I said, no, I know Dad and Mom, they're going to be really mad at me, but listen, you guys get out. I'm going to go. I got to figure out. So that's what was going on in my life at this time. And this man, Tom Houlihan, this physician's assistant, saw something in me. He said, David, I'm cleaning his office one day and emptying his trash, and he looks at me and said, David, I'd like to go into business with you. And I'm literally looking like, who is he talking to that's named David that he wants to go into business with? I'm wearing my blue suit, got my big broom there, and he says, no, I want to go into business with you. And I said, go into business with me? Why? I don't know anything about business, Tom. I said, my uncle owns a gas station. That's about all I know about a business. That's it, and the whole family. We don't know about business. He said, well, I have a business that I'd like to talk to you about, and I'd like to go into business with you, and I'd like you to take a good look at it. Well, he's the one that introduced me to network marketing, and he mentored me. And trust me, I didn't make the guy much money. I was a basket case. It was a mess trying to figure out. Back then, we had to inventory all our own product. Life Force you know, if you get involved in Derek's team, Derek doesn't write you checks, the company does. Well, back then, I had to write my team their own checks. I didn't even have a checking account. I couldn't keep my checking account balanced even if I had one. I mean, I was a mess. I mean, pure cyclone mess. Anything that had to do, you know where I was about 10 minutes before this meeting started? I thought I needed a breath mint. I thought I'll just walk down here, walk and find a store. And I kept walking and walking, and I'm thinking, there's no place to get a breath mint here. My goodness, this meeting starts, in about 10 minutes. I better get back there. I'm supposed to be there. I mean, that's me. I mean, if Michael would have known I was out there, he would have sent a couple of thugs to come grab me, right? But that's been my world. And so, I couldn't make it in corporate America. I had offers and I tried, but I failed miserably in corporate America. But in network marketing, these people just kept taking me under their wing and teaching me. People like Michael grabbed me when I was Ty's age, and they just worked with me. And I said, man, I'm going to suck in every bit of wisdom I can get from these people. I'm going to learn from them. What I like about LifeForce, we're having a boot camp here this weekend. How many of you are a part of the boot camp this weekend? Yeah, see, these are people who a couple months ago, if you'd have told them they were doing a boot camp in LifeForce 2 months ago, they said, what the heck's LifeForce, what the heck's a boot camp, and no way would I be there, right? But it's really been an incredible experience. We do things together. Nobody's in business by themselves in LifeForce. You're in business for yourself. There's no bosses. Nobody's there to tell you what you have to do. But you get a lot of support in this company, just like I had. And so I collected this wisdom that I had from all these mentors, and I was also doing ministry consulting. I was working with nonprofits, helping them with their, back when desktop publishing first started, and nobody knew how to turn on a computer. I just was a little bit first to turn mine on and figured out how to integrate graphic design and writing. So I was building publishing departments for nonprofits, and then this network marketing company. And I'd been involved in network marketing. At the time, I hated network marketing. I'll be honest with you. I've seen network marketing done the wrong way. Anybody see that? Yeah. Come over for dinner. Come on over for dinner, Charlie, and we want to have you over because we love you as a friend. Next thing they pull out their whiteboard. Then here's a hot dog, and we want to talk to you about business. And I just couldn't stomach that kind of trickery and some of the sleight of hand stuff that people were doing. I just didn't like it. And so at the time, this company called me and asked me to be a consultant. I told them no, and something inside said, tell them yes. And I go, tell them yes? I hate them. I was been in it for about 10, 15 years, and I thought, okay, well, I'll do it. Well, I went in, and that was a startup company, and that company, I built their marketing department, which in our industry means you help design the culture of the company, and it's all about culture, and I was very committed to, integrity and culture. I told them, I said straight up, there are 3 things I will never do for you. I'm never going to lie to anybody for you, so you better not tell me that you're lying, because I won't repeat your lies for you. I will never cheat anybody for you, and I'll never flatter you. And I'm extremely opinionated. You still want to hire me. And they did. But I said it straight to the CEOs and the chairmen, and I've said it to every company I've worked with. And if they don't accept that, I'm out of there. I don't want to work with them. Because that means they're up to no good, and I don't want to be a part of something like that. Well, this company ended up becoming the fastest growing company in our industry. They've gone on to do probably $3 to $4 billion in sales since then. And I had a hand in designing that culture, and we weren't all about the money, and we weren't all about the trickery, and I got into so many verbal, close to fist fights over that kind of thing, because I was not going to let that kind of thing come into a company that I was a part of, guiding the marketing. And then I left that company and went into another company, and that company had incredible success. And then a few years ago, I picked up another company, and that company went from being a very small company, small in our industries, like $20 million a year business, which is not small, but it's not small in that it's, impacting the world. And last year, I think they did $1 billion just a few years later. And when I came to LifeForce, I honestly thought it was just going to be another company, just another client. Now I love all my clients, and I love the people that I get to meet and work with. But it's not long before I start seeing some of this stuff that I just don't like, and I just think, man, is there any? I kind of, I'll be honest with you, I lost hope. I thought, a lot of people get their health changed, and a lot of people make good money, and so I'll keep doing it for those people. But as far as these characters at the company, and some of the leaders that I've worked with, it's like, man, if I could just flush those people and have people like you. That would be great. You know, but I kind of got to a place where I thought I'm never going to meet that company. And then Wayne and Jerry Hillman, the gentleman that developed the product for his wife that he talked about, Michael talked about, I met them, really warm people. And I met their executive staff. And they had a bad history of consultants in our industry just being kind of takeover artists. They come in and they act as a consultant, then they try to take over the company. And so they had a lot of suspicion toward me, and a lot of that from me to them. And then after, I thought usually the line, I start hearing the lies and some of the stuff, and and I spend a lot of my time correcting them on that kind of thing, and I didn't hear one. And then a month went by, I hadn't heard any lies. Hadn't heard them say, we're going to say we're doing this, but we're really going to do this. And I'd hear that everywhere else, and I just got sick of it. At this company, I didn't hear it. I've been with them for over 2 years now, and I've not heard that one single time, ever, in this company. I've never had this company ask me to say one thing and do another. I've never had them ask me to lie or cover a lie for them. And so, to me, that was enough. Early on, I said, this is my home, man. I've been looking for a place to call home, and I said, man, Life Force is my home. So this isn't just one of my gigs. This is what I want. I want to be with this group of people for the next 30, 40 years, right? I've made some friends here this week, and this is my first time to Australia. I've had downline tens of thousands of people in Australia and New Zealand in my teams before, and I never came. And for various reasons, I had a lot of young kids and things, a lot of responsibilities. So this is my first experience, and I made friends here, and I hope we travel the beaches of the world together, And so that has been a remarkable thing for me to find a company that, one of the biggest reasons why I've left the companies is because I'm not a science guy, right? But eventually I started learning what they were really doing with products and how good they really weren't. And I started seeing people like on weight loss programs. They started feeling sick. They weren't getting healthy. They were getting skinny, but they weren't really feeling well. And they were rebounding and getting the weight back, and they were getting unhealthy. And I just like, man, I can't be a part of that. Can you guys please fix this? And if they wouldn't fix it, and I've been very blunt with people, I'm a kind man, but I was also a gang hunter when I was a kid. The gangs moved into town, and I helped them decide to move out of town. And was not the kids you wanted to run into in a back alley if you're on the wrong side of the gang world, right? So I am not afraid to confront people, and I've had to say a lot of harsh things to a lot of owners of a lot of companies. And I couldn't find a company that would maintain their integrity with their products. When the companies start growing, they cheapen the products to get more profit. And I've watched this company consistently improve their products, dig into their profit margins, and make these things better. This weight loss product right here, I've helped sell a couple $1 billion worth of weight loss stuff, okay? And I told this company, please don't do a weight loss thing. Because I've just seen it all. I thought I'd seen it all. I thought, I know they mean well, but it's really expensive to put out a great product. It's not cheap to do a great product. You can do a junky product and make profit on it. Companies have to make profit. But this product right here, when they came out with this stuff, I found out they did a test group. I said, I want to be a part of the test group. You know what I did? I went and started eating. I said, man, if this stuff is going to work, it better really work. So I went from 258 pounds, which is in kg, how much is that approximately?
120.
About 120. I put on another 10 pounds before I got on the stuff. And then I developed an allergic reaction to something, and I thought it might be this. And I have a condition where if I lose weight too fast, my body can get racked with pain. I mean, I'd literally rather have somebody hit me in the legs with a hammer than to have this condition come on, because it just puts me down and I'm out. I can't walk. It's really been bad. And so I was kind of afraid to see it work if it was really that good. So I jumped off it really fast because I wondered if it was that. And then I found out that it wasn't. I started taking one of these sticks a day. I didn't even take this or this. I just took one of these a day, and you're supposed to take 2. And I took 1, and I noticed that I stopped gaining the weight. And I thought, I'm not getting this condition back. I mean, it's not happening. I started to lose weight a little bit, and And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go for this thing. So about 6 weeks ago, I bought this suit, Derek. And when I did this, I had to hold my breath. This shirt, you know, my pants, my belt buckles on the last little notch there. 6 weeks ago, I went from 200 and probably at that time maybe about 260 pounds down to 200 and probably 42 before I left. I haven't weighed myself, and I've been here for 2.5 weeks. So I've lost, somebody said I lost like 14 kg in about 6 weeks. And I promise I didn't exercise. You know, I hang out with a bunch of health fanatics. We went to the store last night, and they all walk with wondered eyes walking into the organic vegetable section. I ran past that vegetable section. First thing I grabbed was a can of Pringles. I said, oh my God, I need to eat something that I can like. Then I went and got some milk. And Michael's back there going, oh. He can't even think about Pringles. And I got cookies stashed in my bedroom. I'm willing to share if anybody wants. I bought 4 bottles of wine. I'm like, let's have some wine for the health freaks. So I promise I was not the guy that was being Mr. Discipline. This weight came off against my will. I was scared to death I was going to have this thing take over, this pain just rip through my body. And some of you know what it is. It's not fun stuff, man. It's one of the most painful conditions you can get. And I've only been taking 2 of these a day. I still have. I took 2 teaspoons of this stuff, and I said, that's not for me. I need it, though. I really do. I need to go to the next level. I probably had 10 of these things, and it tastes really great. It really does. This is amazing stuff. But you know what happened with me is, I've done this other weight loss stuff, and I forced myself, to suffer through not eating meals. And when I take this product, I do love this. I really I've been on the road nonstop for about 8 months now. I literally have not spent any time in one place. I've been in hotels since July. So I don't know how long that is. That's quite a long time. Yeah. So hauling all this stuff around for an ADD guy is like too much to keep track of. But these things I can get in my suitcase, no problem. And so I just started taking this stuff, and it's amazing to me. Like, I have to remind myself to eat. Now, listen, that's not a Colister condition. I have generations of pictures to prove it. You do not have to remind a Colister. It's dinner time, or it's lunchtime, or it's time to eat breakfast. I mean, we are there saying, where is the food? I mean, we have plates this big, right? And we just go through it, and I'm dangerous around the pizza man. I hope you ordered your own, because that one's mine. And so this stuff, I just found myself starting to eat like Michael. Not quite like Michael. This guy's a grazer, man. He never eats a meal. He'll just graze. And I'm like, oh my God, this is just not going to work. I need to get to the Pringles. But anyway, this stuff right here, it just, I have to remind myself to eat on it. Anybody else had that experience? Yeah. I mean, it's not like I feel like I got to struggle through until I can get to a meal. It's like, I should probably eat something today. And so I take this in the morning, and then I take it about noon. I've tried taking it at nighttime, but I have trouble getting to sleep, and it's got some coffee bean extract in it, or green bean, whatever, I don't know, green beans or broccoli or something. It's something good for you, but at night I can't go to sleep if I take it too late, so that's when I get hungry, right? But this stuff is just melting the weight off of people. These people right here, I know all of these people. These aren't fake people. This guy, he's our chief financial officer. And look at this. So he had been on this stuff for about 6 weeks. And I saw him at a convention, and this guy was walking at me. I go, boy, he looks familiar. And then he gets close, and it's like my brain couldn't find a file for him. I'm like, Ian? I mean, this guy, and he's lost more weight. I mean, it's unbelievable what's happening to people with this product. This is a game changer, because people like me that have struggled with their weight most of their adult life, you begin to lose hope. The average person who's overweight tries 4 programs a year. Now, if you've been at it for 10 years like I have, I hear Robin, she's going like this. 10 years times 4 years, how many programs is that? 40. That's the average. That's what the government says. The average. There's a little bit of hope lost when you've tried it all, and you just look at the next one and you go, man, I don't know. And your confidence gets low and you think, man, I'm not going to be able to beat this thing. I'm going to have a double wide casket for me when I'm older. And this visceral fat, I've learned, is we're born with a certain amount of fat cells, right? There's two main types of fat. And one, we're born with a certain amount of fat cells, and they just get bigger and smaller. They hold nutrients and they release them. But this visceral fat thing, do you have Dr. Oz here?
Yeah.
Go YouTube Dr. Oz and visceral fat. You want to get grossed out? This guy will convert you. Visceral fat is this stuff that's not under your skin. It gets around your organs. And it gets inside of your muscle tissue and your organs. It fills your stomach. That's why thin people dare, you're a doctor, you know this better than I do. But thin people can look thin, but on the inside they can be just jam-packed with this visceral fat. And visceral fat's a liar. What it does is it tells your body that you're hungry and you need more food. And you don't need more food. It's the visceral fat that's doing that. It also releases toxins that poison your vital organs. It's competing for the nutrients. That's why people that eat well, if they have visceral fat, they're still not healthy. Because this visceral fat's just taking all the good stuff and it's destroying, it's killing people. And this stuff is killing the visceral fat. It is knocking it out. It's eliminating it from people's lives. And I can tell you right now, you might be able to get me off of pizza, but you will never get me off of that bean leaf. Never. Never. Everybody in the Colister family, except for my parents, thank God, has died before the age of 64 of cancer, heart disease, or diabetes. And it was killing everybody. And it was a sad thing. You bury enough people and you go, something's got to change. We look around the room and we all look like we could use 2 chairs, right? And you go, well, that's obvious what the problem is, but we couldn't get anything to work. This stuff works. This is a game changer. And listen, these leaders, I'm looking around the room in our leaders, they've worked really hard to get this company in the last 7 years to where it is here. It's not very big here yet compared to what we could be doing. But they've got this market growing in the New Zealand and Australian market at 10% a month. Now, if you're in business, you know what that means. Most people would be happy to get a 10% return on their investment a year. 10% a month means in the next year, this market is going to triple. But that's not going to happen because their growth rate is growing. It's starting to inch up. It will be 10, 20, 30% a month. This company and this market will be doubling every 3 and 4 months over the next few years. And this product is putting it on, I don't know what you call it, I hate steroids, but it's kind of like that, turbo, right? This product is a game changer, this leadership. How many of you believe that that have been a part of this business the last few days and working with these leaders, people like Michael, how many of you believe that they really care about helping you succeed? Yeah, this is not fake. We are into changing lives, right? And the more lives you change, the more money you make. So you can your paycheck is nothing more than a report card on how many people you've helped. And we're dedicated to helping people. But if you need money, hey, the number one cause for disease is stress. The number one cause for stress is money. And it's usually people not saying, well, I have far too much money and it's really stressing me out. Right? It causes more divorces. It causes more problems in the home. Stress over money is just as much a killer as visceral fat is. And we can fix both of them. And I don't know if this is a fit for you, but I can absolutely guarantee you, I have never once had a client not become the fastest growing company in our industry. Never. 100% success in helping my clients. I've had great mentors. And I mean business. And I don't give up until it happens. And this company, I've decided to make it my home. Listen, this company is growing. If you want to be a part of something that's good, that helps people, that changes lives, and can possibly set you free, to do the things that you really want to do. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you want to spend more time with your kids. Maybe you just want to travel. Maybe you want to do something besides have some boss tell you what to do. Maybe you want to fire your boss. Walk in and say, dude, you're fired. Right? That's what this is. There are people in this room that are headed that way. And we can go, there's a lot of room here. We need a lot more people. I don't know which direction it is, but yesterday, was it? We went over to the convention center and we met with the people that run that, and we're looking at, because I know how these things happen. We booked for next year, we're booking it for 6,000 people. So this meeting right here tonight, a year from now, we're going to have 6,000 people in that auditorium over there, or within a year. And so, if you want to take the ride of your lifetime, changing people's lives and being a part of something that really matters, this is the place. Thank you very much. I'm so grateful to be here.
Thank you so much, David Colister. What an incredible vision to transform this planet. And we can do this. We can do this together. Changing people's lives, not just in a small way, but in a huge, profound way. And every life that we change, the universe reciprocates and provides us with financial abundance. What an incredible model for the future. What an incredible model for our children and their children. So, folks, this is an incredible ground floor opportunity. You've heard this thing once in a lifetime. Well, this is really it. I'd like to share with you my personal business testimony. And I gave you a little bit of information about myself, corporate background. But when I entered the Life Force community, initially you could have called me a customer, but I had a very dear friend who I trusted 100%. The conversation went, hey, I've found something we could do together. It's amazing. And by the way, Michael and Krista and Vonna are involved. And he said, are you interested? I said, I'm in. He said, have you got your credit card? And that was it. And that was the beginning of my Life Force journey. And I had no idea what would be in store. But I can guarantee you one thing. There's been challenges. It's been sometimes hard work, yeah? It's been amazing. I've become a different person. Anyone who knew me 14 years ago, well, yeah, and who I am now, if somebody would have said, well, you're going to be standing on stage, you're going to be jet setting around, you're going to be making a difference in thousands of people's lives, I would have thought, well, what planet are you on? But this is real. This is what's happened in my life. And I can't wait, because the vision that's been set by an industry leader, he's leading the way. He's redefining our entire industry. What we have done over the last 2 days here, folks, has just been mind-blowing. And this is only a little tidbit of the potential that we're sitting on. It's a ground floor opportunity. And you know the thing about ground floor opportunities, right? I'll give you an example. We've been chilling on the beach. This is fantastic. This is one of my favorite coastlines, okay? And we said, yeah, let's go for a swim. We're out there, diving and jumping out in the water, and the waves are coming in. We go, whoo, like that, yeah, under the water, whoo. And that's life. That's life, right? Imagine, just sweet, no problem. Sweet, come up for air. This is great. And then all of a sudden, this big wave starts coming in, and you go, ooh, what do I do? Now, have you ever tried to beat a wave and just stand there? Have you? Have you? Well, I've tried a few times, and it was like getting through a tumbler. Okay? Churn, just like this, like this. Oh! Anyway, I figured out, it didn't take me long, I thought, I better do the smart thing here. I've got a choice. I can either dive below the wave and come up, and that's life and it's easy, or if I want to catch a ride, I got to turn around and I got to go with it, not fight it, but go with it. And that's my Life Force journey right now. I'm not fighting that wave, no way. I want to catch it So I'm catching that wave, and it's just going to take me to the shore of financial freedom. I just know it. So that's my testimonial for you folks. I really hope it makes a difference in your lives. Thank you. I'd like to welcome up someone else who we call is on fire. The growth in this person's business is absolutely phenomenal. I'd like to welcome up Vera West to share her business testimonial. Thank you.
Really quick, but I just did the maths actually, and I went 3 years ago when I started this. I got a $60 check. My life was I was a sole practitioner. I was in a room. You know, I was doing counselling, and people, you know, they have anxiety and depression, and they come in, and I'm getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. And I was lonely. I wanted community. I wanted to travel. I wanted to go away on holidays. Every January, what would happen to me was I'd have to take off work. I'd have to take off a month. I'd close up, and you know, I couldn't. I'd go away with my kids, but I had no income. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't, you know, I'd be cringing if the restaurant bill came in, or, you know, we wouldn't go to, we'd swim in the pool because I didn't want to take them to anywhere that was too expensive. So, and then so we couldn't even enjoy the holiday, and they'd fight, and they'd have to share a room, and anyway, it was all chaos. So, but when I came home, the worst of it was that all my practitioners, I was renting a little centre, I was renting the rooms, but all the practitioners that were in the rooms, they'd go on holiday, and I'd come back in January, and I would have spent all my money on the holiday, and I'd come back and have nothing, and then have no clients for February and March, and often the business would only get going in April, so I'd lose 3 months of income. But I worked out today, I'm really excited because I didn't even know what the figures were. 3 years later, I look at my, I started with a $60 check. I had one guy buy an 8-pack of Body Balance. My business is turning over, 3 years later, over $1 million a year in revenue.
Wow.
Over $1 million a year. And can you imagine, every dollar that I make out of that, I know that I'm earning that income because I have transformed thousands and thousands of lives. And that's what I get to do every single day. And I can tell you one more thing that just blew me away. This month, I'm looking at the figures, and it looks like my business, the revenue, has grown by a $30,000 increase from last month. So I don't know, I'm not good at maths, I was never good at maths, not good at percentages. That's phenomenal. And I'm nothing special. I'm just, you know, ordinary. And so if I can do it, anybody can do it. And especially on this wave, if you come and ride the wave, and that was a great analogy, Cliff, if you just ride the wave without resistance and just open and just go with it, you know, the world, possibilities there. Everything's here, everything's at your fingertips. It's all here. So anyway, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Vera. I've had trouble keeping track of the money that keeps showing up in my bank account. I've given up. It's just great to see it just keep showing up in the account. I know for sure that in one of my businesses I've got, it grew 100% last month.
Wow.
100%. So this is just the beginning. I'm so excited about where this can go for each and every one of you, okay? So let's recap. Let's just check this out. You've heard tonight about our company, Lifeforce International. It's a company that's got high integrity. You've heard about the leadership as well, how they care. They're really here to help each and everyone who chooses this business, help them become successful. We've got a lot of folks that are making and changing people's lives through these life-changing products, okay? So we've got a company with a vision to take on this world and transform it in the most powerful way. That's amazing. And that's been enabled and made possible by this revolutionary weight loss outstanding product and program called Be New. This is a game changer, okay? This is amazing. So you can benefit from these amazing products yourself personally. And there's something else. We mentioned to you that you'd be able to purchase these products tonight, okay? So we've got a special offer for you. just for tonight and tonight only, we're providing a very special price on this program here. It's being discounted. There's free shipping, but it's only available tonight, okay? And that's amazing. On the Life Shift pack alone, I think you're paying in Australian somewhere around $245. Remember, it's a game changer, both for your health and well-being, but also there's the business. You've heard where we're going with this company. You can trust David Colister's advice around what's going to happen with this ground floor opportunity. So there's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to come on board and join us in this business. And you can do that tonight. So I just want to let you folks know, we're very grateful that you came. I hope that you've come and you've got enough information, yeah, to enable you to make a decision that's going to count, not just now, not just today, tomorrow, but for a lifetime. This is it. And I strongly encourage you to make a decision based on your future. Now, we're going to take a very brief break. It's going to be a 5-minute break. And after that break, anyone that's come here and is maybe just product focused and only has an interest in the product, we want to thank you and honour you for coming. And we'd also like to allow you to leave if you're not interested in what we're going to do next. Remember, I mentioned the ground floor opportunity. Well, after 5 minutes, if you're interested and you'd like to know how you can become wildly successful with this opportunity, we're going to take you through a fun exercise to help you see the potential for yourself. So we're going to do that after the break. I want to acknowledge our guests, David Colister, Michael Jude Lopez, Vera West, Derek Renee, and Robin Smart. I want to thank you for contributing to tonight's event, and I want to lastly thank each and every one of you for coming. Please feel free to mix and mingle. We're going to get back here in 5 minutes. Thank you so much.